Hello, this is Julie Harlan. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Ag Leadership, Education, and Communications. And today I'd like to share some information about my background as well as some other information about me and this course with you. I'm going to discuss with you my family and background, aspects of my professional career, other interests I have, and my paradigm and approach to content in this particular. So, Hunter is my son. He is in seventh grade this year. I spend a lot of time following him around doing baseball. He's in select ball. He plays out of Waco, so year-round baseball. I also have three horses, Brady, Edward, and Neil. Brady's the one up in the top hand corner. Edward is the one in the bottom. And I show them at APHA all-around events. So I stay busy with that. We also have three dogs. We just added a new dog named Rex. He's a little tri-corgi. And then we have two tri-shelties, Mason and Jackson. And then we have four cats that keep us busy as well. So in the early years, I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. I started elementary school in Calallen, which is a suburb of Corpus. We eventually moved to Orange Grove, which is a really small town not far from Corpus Christi. And I grew up on 10 acres there out in the country. I have one brother and one sister. My parents are divorced. I did get to see my dad on the weekends, and I had a stepfather for several years. The kinds of activities I was involved in, first of all, you need to know I was not athletic. I tried gymnastics for a number of years and received an award for being there the longest. That was not my thing. I also tried brownies and eventually started participating in 4-H. And I showed sheep, did food and the clothing and those kinds of things. But I always wanted a horse. Since the time I was itty bitty, I always wanted one. And I didn't give. When we moved to Orange Grove, I became involved in 4-H there, and eventually became involved in FFA in high school. There I showed sheep, I showed a steer, I did all kinds of leadership and judging contests. I was chapter president for 3 years. I was also a district officer. I received a Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo scholarship that allowed me to attend Texas A&M, and eventually I received my American FFA degree. For fun, I did everything horses. So when we moved out to the country, that allowed me to have a horse. And so I showed horses, I judged horses. I used to train horses when I was younger. I gave lessons, just anything horse related. I was very at Texas A&M, I received my BS in Ag Science in 1993 and my master's in 1994. I was on the horse judging team. I also was involved in the extension service doing the horsemanship clinics and was a peer advisor for our department. I was one of the first peer advisors. I also received an Outstanding AGAD Senior Award through my professional experience. I was a high school ag teacher for 3 years. I taught at Sinton High School, which is outside Corpus. I had a lot of preps and taught lots of different classes and recruited very hard. My last year there, I was Campus Teacher of the Year, and I left to be an intern with the National FFA organization when it was in Alexandria. That sparked me to think about getting a PhD, and I ended up going to Oklahoma State to earn my PhD, and I completed that in 1999. I wasn't sure where I was going to end up, but I ended up back at Texas A&M that year. So in terms of my professional career at Texas A&M, I started in 1999. For the majority of the first part of my career, I worked primarily with student teachers. I coordinated that program, taught several classes, supervised student teachers, and again was heavily involved in that. A couple years ago, I made a move to do primarily graduate courses, and so right now I'm teaching ALEC 601, the class you're in, ALEC 630, Guidance and Counseling for Rural Youth, and ALEC 640, which is the Technological Change class. I also completed the College of Ag and Life Sciences Advanced Leaders program, and now I'm serving on the executive committee for that. My research has been focused on learner-centered instructional design, specifically looking at the important elements of the student teaching experience. I've also looked at teaching efficacy of student teachers, and then a variety of projects that my graduate students have dealt with, primarily dealing with high school classrooms. In terms of service, back when I worked primarily with student teachers, my service consisted primarily of conducting workshops for high school teachers. I also served on a lot of committees for the VATAT organization as well as the Texas Education Agency. Now my service is geared more toward the university level, and I'm serving on Faculty Senate. I'm in my second term. I'm also on the executive committee for Faculty Senate and serving as co-chair of the Core Curriculum Council. So those have kept me really busy. Also, in November 2016, I joined the Bryan ISD School Board, so that's given me really a new perspective on not only how schools operate, but also the importance of teachers and teaching at all those levels within K through 12. Awards I've received, and I just picked a few that probably mean the most to me. This year, in September, I'll receive the Coles Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award for Teaching. I also was a recipient of the Southern Region AAAE Distinguished Teaching Award in 2014. In 2005, I received the USDA New Teacher Award. I was also Teacher of the Year at Sinton High School my last year, and then I received my American FFA degree in. So my view of ALEC 601 is that we never stop learning. And many of us really never stop teaching either. We may do that in different contexts, whether it be a training environment or higher ed or secondary or elementary. But for a lot of us, teaching is really what we're born to do. I also believe that both formal and informal teaching in excellent ways can help us be more effective in our work context. So whether we teach for a living or not, we're always impacting others, and especially when we do new hires and those kind of things, as we do training and help them on board with their positions, that is a form of teaching, and doing it well is really important. Our readings are going to provide a framework for us to understand and discuss the teaching and learning process and apply that content to a lot of different contexts. So whether you find yourself currently in a teaching situation or it's something you aspire to do at some point in your career, I hope you'll find this course helpful. So we've all had good teachers and bad teachers, and though we can learn in any environment, learning is more fluid and more permanent when we have a good teacher. Whether you teach in informal or formal settings, you can apply the concepts to lots of different places. So I'd like to welcome you to ALEC 601, and I look forward to getting to know you this semester. Thank you.